Right. Welcome to week 8. I just want to start off again by apologizing for having to change or cancel tonight's class meeting. I am actually working on this from school at the time we would normally have class because I had an event get moved here, and the event is actually happening as we speak. So thank you for your flexibility and your patience. I'm just going to use this video to sort of quickly overview the work for the coming week. And as always, please reach out to me with any questions you may have, especially since we didn't get a chance to have this discussion in person. So bottom line is this week is about gamification. It's the other main game-based project that we're going to be working on in this course. It is not going to require as much work as the full games. There is going to be a bit of an instructional design piece to it. But as you will see, the whole idea of gamification is that it is not about creating a full-fledged game, but more about adding some game elements to an existing activity. So in any case, so the flow of activities for this week, starting off with just an overview of what gamification is. I know I had you all contribute last week to a forum where you were sharing what your existing understanding of gamification is. So this is going to follow up on that with some more specifics about what it is and what it isn't. And at the bottom, I've got 3 additional links here. There's tons of resources out there about gamification. These 3 are sort of specifically related to gamification as it applies to education. So if you want to take a look at them, one's a research paper, one is more of an article about some strategies and some concepts, and then the last one is some actual specific ideas about some gamified activities that you could use in your classroom. So just kind of go through this. I don't think the concept is terribly complicated or difficult. So there's not a ton to say about it, but once you kind of understand what it is, it's one of those things that you'll start seeing and hearing about everywhere. As I said in the overview for this week, literally a half an hour ago, the presentation being given here is being given by some Connecticut State Troopers. And as they were setting up their presentation for tonight, the 2 of them were actually talking about a few slides in their presentation that were gamified, and they used that term literally. So once you kind of know what gamification is, you're going to start seeing it pop up all over the place. So once you have an idea of what gamification is, the next page is about the actual gamification project. Bottom line with this project is you're going to pick an existing activity. It does not have to be in your classroom. It could be something from home, something from work, something from school, whatever. But something that you think would benefit from being gamified. You're going to develop a plan for how you're going to gamify that activity. And then we are actually going to actually have each of you try out the gamified activity with whoever your target audience is, and hopefully then get some real feedback on whether gamifying the activity had the results that you wanted it to have. So for this coming couple of weeks, really it's just about trying to brainstorm some ideas for activities that you might want to gamify. There's going to be a discussion forum where you post those ideas, kind of share your first thoughts, and then have other people chime in and see if they have additional thoughts or suggestions that might go along with what you've come up with. Then in week 9, there is going to be an instructional design piece to this. I'm going to set it up through another wiki, just like the game project. So you'll have a place where you can just record all of your information about this project. Then you're going to implement the activity, like I said, with whoever your target audience is. And then we're going to do a little debrief on the other side of evaluating how it went, if it did what it was supposed to do. And at the end of the course, or towards the end of the course, you're going to do a really brief presentation of what you gamified and how it went and so on. So that's kind of the scope of the whole project. The only thing, again, you have to concern yourself with this week is just brainstorming some initial ideas for an activity that you think would benefit from being gamified. So once you have that idea, like I said, takes a place in a forum. You'll create a new thread in the forum, and the 3 things that I'm having you do is just say what the activity is, talk about how it currently exists and why it's a candidate for gamification, and then maybe brainstorm 2 or 3 ways that you can think of to try to gamify that activity. And then once you have your post done, again, respond to other students' posts and see if you can help them out in terms of refining their ideas for what they want their gamification project to be. So that's basically the work for this week. It's really 2 weeks because we do have spring break week next week. There is no class next week. So you do have a couple of weeks to kind of work through this. I would say also over the course of the next couple of weeks, hopefully you've had a chance now to alpha test your game ideas. You should have a pretty good idea that you're on the right track. So at this point, you can be starting to move into the development phase, the design phase of actually creating the rules, creating the flow chart for the game, maybe even starting to make the actual materials that you're going to need for the game. So while there's not a specific, homework assignment or whatever for your game projects, at this point, you should be able to really start moving forward with them and starting to get them off the ground. All right, so that is really the overview for this week. And again, apologies for having to cancel the class at sort of the last minute. Reach out with questions, concerns, and I will see you all in 2 weeks for week 9, and we will kind of pick things up there. All right, that is all. I will sign off and get this posted so that you can start working on the projects. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your week.